Welcome to The Real Debrief, the show where we dive deep into the world of film production, exploring the genres you love, the projects making waves, and the trends shaping the industry. We're here to give you a 360-degree review for entertainment professionals. So grab your popcorn and get ready for some expert insights. And, well, the occasional bed joke from Talen. It's The Real Debrief. Now your hosts, Talen and Lisa.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Talen, and as always, I've got the ever-brilliant Lisa with me.
Hello. I'm excited about today's episode because we're diving into something that, quite frankly, had me reaching for the tissues way more than I expected.
No kidding. Today, we're talking about Blink, this travel documentary that's a little different from the ones we usually see. It's a heartfelt film about a family's journey across the globe. But it's not just about seeing new places. There's a real emotional core to this one. So, buckle up everyone, because it's about to get real.
Yeah, this one hit me hard, Talen. Blink follows Edith LeMay and Sebastien Pelletier, who decide to take their kids on a year-long trip around the world. And the reason for that trip? 3 of their 4 children have been diagnosed with a rare genetic condition that could lead to blindness. I mean, just let that sink in for a minute. They want to fill their kids' memories with as many beautiful sights as possible before the lights go out. It's equal parts heartbreaking and inspiring.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, when I first read the premise, I thought, okay, this could be either a beautiful exploration of family and memory, or it could be a little too heavy-handed. But what surprised me was how Blink managed to strike that perfect balance. It doesn't wallow in sadness. Instead, it's about hope, connection, and the fleeting beauty of the world around us.
Totally, and I think that's one of the reasons why Blink works so well. It's not just about a family ticking off items on a travel bucket list. There's this real sense of urgency and purpose behind their trip, but the film never feels exploitative or manipulative. The directors, Edmund Stenson and Daniel Roher, who, by the way, also worked together on the Oscar-winning documentary Navalny, they let the story unfold naturally. There's no need to over-dramatize because the story is already packed with emotion.
Exactly. It's like they knew that the power of the story was already built into the situation. You've got these parents who are grappling with the unimaginable, knowing that their children might lose their vision one day. But instead of succumbing to despair, they do something incredible. I mean, they're giving their kids the gift of experience, the gift of visual memories that will last a lifetime, even if those lifetimes end up being lived in darkness.
Yeah, that's what makes this documentary so touching. Edith and Sebastien aren't just passive observers in their kids' lives. They're proactive in a way that I think we can all admire. I mean, they could have stayed home, focusing on treatments or making their home more accessible for the future, but instead, they chose to show their kids the world. And that's just beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, there's something about the way they approach this challenge that makes you think about how we should all be living our lives. I don't know about you, but halfway through the documentary, I started thinking, what would I do if I knew that I was going to lose one of my senses? Would I take action like they did, or would I just let it paralyze me with fear? And honestly, I think that's one of the great things about Blink. It gets you reflecting on your own life and how you're spending your time.
Exactly. And while we're on the subject, let's talk about the kids for a second because they are the heart and soul of this film. You've got Mia, Colin, and Laurent, the 3 kids who are facing this potential future of blindness, and their youngest sibling, Leo, who isn't affected. And let me tell you, these kids, they're amazing. They're full of energy, curiosity, and this sense of adventure that really pulls you in as a viewer.
Yes. And I love how the film didn't treat the kids like tragic figures. Instead, we see them being kids, I mean, they're running around, they're laughing, playing, they're getting into all sorts of mischief. You almost forget at times about the condition they're living with because they're so full of life. And then, in these quieter moments, you're reminded of the reality they're facing, and it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Totally, and that's part of what makes the documentary so powerful. There's this tension between the vibrancy of their lives and the looming uncertainty of what's to come. And the film doesn't shy away from showing those moments where the kids, and their parents are clearly struggling with the fear of what the future holds.
Right. Okay, so there's a scene that really stuck with me where one of the kids is having trouble seeing in low light, and you can feel the parents' worry creeping in. It's not explicit, there's no dramatic music or close-up shots of their faces, but you can sense it. I mean, the fear, the uncertainty, it's there, simmering beneath the surface. But at the same time, they're out there in the world seeing these incredible sights.
Yes, and can we talk about the places they visit for a second? Egypt, Thailand, Namibia, Nepal. I mean, it's like they're crisscrossing the globe, taking in these jaw-dropping, beautiful landscapes. The rock formations in Egypt's White Desert National Park? That scene was breathtaking. And the hot air balloon ride? I'm sitting there just floored by the visuals, while in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about how these kids are absorbing all of this, knowing that one day they might not be able to see anymore.
Right? I mean, it's like the filmmakers knew they didn't need to add much commentary on those scenes. The visuals speak for themselves. It's as if we're seeing the world through the eyes of these kids, knowing that every sight could be their last. And that just adds this whole other layer of poignancy to the film.
Yeah, the cinematography was just stunning. But what I also appreciated was how the film balanced those awe-inspiring moments with the more mundane, everyday scenes. It wasn't just about the grand landscapes and the epic adventures. We also got to see the family just being a family. You know, they're sharing meals, they're goofing around in their hotel rooms, they're dealing with the usual sibling squabbles. It felt so real and grounded.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. The film doesn't shy away from showing the normalcy of family life, even in the face of something extraordinary. It's that juxtaposition of the ordinary and the extraordinary that gives Blink its emotional punch. Sure, they're on this incredible journey, but at the end of the day, they're just a family trying to make the most of the time they have together.
And I think that's what really resonated with me. We all have these moments in our lives where we're faced with challenges, where we have to decide how we're going to respond to adversity. And seeing how this family chose to embrace life, to seek out beauty and adventure in the face of something so difficult, it's a reminder to all of us to live fully, to cherish the moments we have.
Absolutely. And you know, as much as the film is about these kids and their journey, I think it's also a really moving exploration of parenthood. Edith and Sebastian are doing everything they can to give their kids these experiences, right? But at the same time, they're grappling with their own fears and uncertainties. There's this tension between wanting to protect their kids and knowing that they can't control what's going to happen.
Yes, that parental anxiety is so palpable throughout the film. You can see it in the way they watch over their kids and the way they navigate these potentially dangerous or unfamiliar environments. But at the same time, they're trying to give their kids as much freedom and joy as possible. It's a delicate balance, and I think the film captures that beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, there is this one moment where Edith is talking about her fears for the future, and you can just see the weight of it on her. But then, moments later, she's laughing and playing with the kids, and it's like she decided to push that fear aside for now and just focus on being present. And that's something I think a lot of parents can relate to, this constant push and pull between worrying about the future and trying to live in the moment.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the big things that sets Blink apart from other travel documentaries. It's not just about seeing the world. It's about the emotional and psychological journey this family is on. It's about fear, loss, and love. And it's about how they're trying to make the most of the time they have together, even when they don't know exactly what the future holds. That uncertainty, that looming question of what's to come, it's something that all of us can relate to in different ways. And the fact that Edith and Sebastian choose to face that uncertainty head-on with love and adventure is incredibly inspiring.
Oh, yeah. And you know what's interesting, Lisa? This isn't just a story about traveling to different countries, right? It's about traveling through time in a way. The parents know that their children's future will likely look very different from their present. They're trying to capture moments, to freeze these visual memories so that when their children can no longer see, they can still remember what these incredible places looked like. And that's kind of time travel, don't you think?
I love that. Yes, absolutely. It's like they're banking memories for the future, creating this vault of images and experiences that will sustain their children long after their vision fades. It's not just about the here and now. It's about making sure their kids have something to hold on to in the years to come, and I think that's one of the things that makes Blink so deeply emotional.
Exactly. And okay, that's where the documentary really transcends the typical travel genre. It's not just about seeing cool places, though the places they visit are undeniably stunning. It's about the emotional weight of those places. Every scene, every sight is loaded with meaning because we know what's at stake. I mean, it really makes you appreciate the beauty of the world in a whole new way.
Totally, and I think that's why the film is so effective at tapping into this universal fear of loss. Whether it's the loss of sight, or the loss of time, or the loss of control as your children grow up, there's this thread of loss that runs throughout the film. But instead of being paralyzed by it, the family chooses to embrace life, to fill their days with as much color and beauty as possible. And that's such a powerful message.
Oh, absolutely. And, there's this scene near the end where they're on this cable car in Ecuador, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The parents are clearly worried about their kids. Will they be able to see? Will the ride be too overwhelming for them? But then, as they make it across, you can see this shift. It's like they've realized that they can't control everything, but they can make the most of the ride while it lasts.
Yes, that scene really stood out to me too. It's symbolic in a way. The cable car ride is dangerous, it's scary, and it's unknown, just like their children's future. But once they're on the other side, they've done it. They've navigated that uncertainty, and they've come out the other side stronger for it. It's a metaphor for the entire journey they're on.
Right. And that metaphor extends beyond just the family's experience. I think Blink speaks to all of us in some way. I mean, we're all on our own versions of that cable car ride, whether it's facing a health challenge, dealing with a personal loss, or just trying to navigate life's uncertainties. The film's a reminder that while we may not have control over what happens, we can choose how we respond to it.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I think Blink resonates so deeply with viewers. It's not just about this one family's experience. It's about all of us. It's about how we face fear, how we confront loss, and how we find beauty and meaning in the time we have. And that's a message that everyone can relate to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's also about the idea of legacy. What kind of legacy do we want to leave behind for our children, for the people we love? For Edith and Sebastian, it's about giving their kids these visual memories, these experiences that stay with them long after their sight is gone. But for the rest of us, it's a question we all have to answer in our own way, right? What do we want to pass down? What moments are we creating that will last beyond our lifetimes?
That's such a good point, Talen. And it makes me think about how we often take our senses and our experiences for granted. Watching Blink was a reminder for me to slow down, to really see the world around me and to appreciate the little moments. Because, like the film reminds us, life comes at you fast, and you never know what tomorrow will bring.
Exactly. I mean, I found myself thinking the same thing. There's this urgency in the film, this idea that we need to be present, to really engage with the world around us before it's too late. And it's not just about seeing the world, it's about truly experiencing it through all of our senses.
Totally. And that's what makes Blink so different from other travel documentaries. It's not about showing off exotic locations or checking destinations off a list. It's about savoring the moment, about soaking in every sight, every sound, every feeling. And that's a message that I think resonates on a deep level.
Yeah, and I think it's also about resilience. I mean, this family is going through something incredibly difficult, and yet they're finding joy and meaning in the midst of it. They're choosing to live, to explore, to experience. And that's something that's really inspiring.
Absolutely. It's about choosing hope, even when the future is uncertain. And I think that's something we can all take away from this film. No matter what challenges we're facing, we have the power to choose how we respond to them. We can choose to be present, to embrace the beauty of the world around us and to live fully.
Well said, Lisa. I think that's the heart of Blink. It's a reminder that life is fragile, that time is fleeting, and that we have to make the most of the moments we're given. And it's also a reminder that even in the face of loss, there's still so much beauty to be found.
Exactly, and that's why I think Blink is such an important film. It's not just a travel documentary, it's a meditation on life, on love, and what it means to truly see the world.
I fully agree. This film has definitely left a lasting impression on me personally, and I think it will do the same for anyone who watches it. It's a powerful reminder to live fully, to appreciate the beauty of the world around us, and to cherish the moments that we have with the people we love.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for today. If you haven't seen Blink yet, we highly recommend checking it out. It's a beautiful, emotional journey that will stay with you long after the credits roll. Whether you're a parent, a traveler, or just someone who appreciates the simple yet profound beauty of life, Blink will resonate with you on a deep level. It's not just a documentary, it's a reminder of what it means to live fully and love fiercely.
Definitely. This is the kind of film that makes you want to hug your loved ones a little tighter. Go outside and really take in the world around you, and maybe even rethink the way you spend your time. It's one of those experiences that quietly but powerfully shifts your perspective. And the fact that it's wrapped up in the form of a travel documentary, that's just icing on the cake.
I couldn't agree more. What's so striking is that the film doesn't beat you over the head with its message. It's subtle, it's tender, and it lets you feel the weight of the story without forcing anything. And that's what makes it so effective. You walk away from it wanting to be more present in your own life.
Yeah, and the beauty of Blink is that it gently nudges you to think about your own life, your own family, and the ways in which you can make the most of your time on this planet. It's not a film that preaches, it's a film that invites you to reflect. And honestly, those are the kinds of documentaries that stay with you the longest, right?
Exactly. And you know what, Talen? I think this film, while it's about a family's very specific journey, has a universal appeal. We all face loss in some form. We all experience change, whether we want to or not. But the film shows us that it's how we face those challenges that defines us. And that's a message that anyone, anywhere can relate to.
Totally. We may not all be in a situation where our children are facing potential loss of their sight, but we all face moments where we have to confront the fragility of life. And in those moments, we have a choice. Do we shrink back in fear, or do we embrace life and make the most of the time we have? That's what Blink is really about.
Yes, and it's such a poignant reminder that we don't have to wait for a crisis to start living fully. We can choose to see the world with fresh eyes every single day, to appreciate the beauty around us, and to make lasting memories with the people we love. That's something we can all do, regardless of our circumstances.
Yes, exactly. It's not about having the perfect life or the perfect circumstances. It's about making the most of what we've got and finding joy in the journey. Whether that journey takes you across the globe or just around the block, it's about being present, being grateful, and seeing the beauty in every moment.
Well said, Talen. So, for anyone listening who's been feeling stuck or overwhelmed or unsure of what the future holds, Blink is the perfect reminder that even in the face of uncertainty, there's still so much beauty to be found. It's a film that will lift your spirits, give you hope, and maybe even inspire you to book that trip you've been dreaming about.
Yeah, or even just inspire you to take a moment to breathe and look at the world around you with new appreciation. So, folks, if you're looking for a documentary that's not just visually stunning, but also emotionally moving, Blink is it. Watch it with your family, your friends, or even yourself, and prepare to be inspired.
Absolutely. And after you watch it, let us know what you think. We love hearing from our listeners, and we'd love to know how Blink impacted you. Did it make you want to travel more? Did it make you reflect on your own relationships and the way you're spending your time? We want to hear all about it.
Yes, definitely reach out to us with your thoughts. And as always, if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, And share this podcast with anyone you think might enjoy it, please. We've got plenty more heartfelt, thought-provoking films to discuss in the future, and we'd love to have you along for the ride.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And remember, life is short, but it's also incredibly beautiful. So take a moment today to really see the world around you. Who knows? You might just discover something you've never noticed before.
I'm going to go do that today. Until next time, take care, be present, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the show. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
This has been The Real Debrief. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, like, rate, and review. We'll see you soon on The Real Debrief.